your vulva is political. This idea is not new, but it is very powerful. I'd even say it's revolutionary because it has literally done that. It started a revolution in the 60s and 70s. So, this is Alice Paul, one of the key figures of the second wave feminist movement. Their rallying cry was, "The personal is political." They challenged the status quo and introduced the idea that our personal lives are connected to political decisions. That our personal lives, our relationships, our family dynamics, and our reproductive rights are indeed political issues. So one might be inclined to think that this is an idea that belongs in the history books, or that this is an abstract idea that really doesn't apply to our modern and progressive societies. But bear with me for a moment, because not only are our history books still lacking a feminist perspective, but also I want to show you how it is more relevant than ever today and how it applies to your life. For that, I invite you to go with me on a time journey. Not to the 60s or 70s, but to the year 2006. 2006 was, everybody's thinking now, what was there? That was actually the first year when I got my period. And yes, I'm gonna talk here about menstruation. And that was also the first time for me where I got in touch with my bodily anatomy and where I thought about my body parts and where I actually first time tried to make sense of it. And doing this, I used something that I have with me today. I have it in my pocket, hopefully. Yes. It is this. This is an information leaflet from a pack of tampons that my mother gave me that time. And I looked at this, and it has this body, this torso, cut through in half. And I looked at this picture, and I looked at myself, and I tried to make sense of it. And it was really hard. Because you rarely see pictures like this. Not in school books, not in sex ed. So I want to pose a question to you guys by just a show of hands. Who of you would say that they had a great sex education at school? They had a good experience, they felt really empowered and knew a lot? Just raise your hands. If you didn't raise your hand, don't feel bad, don't feel like you're alone. Actually, we just completed the biggest vulva survey in Europe so far, with more than 2,000 people, and 70% said that their sex ed was not sufficient, or rather not sufficient. So 70% that were really unhappy with the sex education in school. So it is not really surprising, unfortunately, that many of us still refer to our vulva as vagina. We really reduce ourselves to the part, to the canal leading up to the cervix. We verbally circumcise a lot of parts that are crucial for pleasure, such as the labia, pubic hair, or the clitoris. And speaking of the clitoris, there was also another study recently that asked people about the shape of the clitoris. And within 1,000 people, only 45 actually knew the shape of the clitoris. So I reckon in this room, we are around 100 people. So if we look at that, we would say not even 5 of you know what this is. So the personal is political, and that is really true, especially for women. If we personally decide to stay at home with the kid, to reduce our work hours, because that's what good mothers do, right? When we personally decide that we will take care of the elder members of our family, because who else would do it? And when we personally decide that we will go back to a partner that has been violent before, because maybe this time he has changed. Are those even real choices that we have? It's political. But the personal is political doesn't only apply to women. It applies to all of us. And it's also important to remember that we face different contexts, that all of our identities shape the way we experience social and political pressures, such as gender identity, sexual orientation, our race. So we have to understand those intersections, to understand how people face different challenges. So the personal is political shows us that our personal life, the things we do every day, are connected to much larger issues. Like, for example, sexism, racism, ableism, the gender wage gap, age poverty, exploitation, the global economy, and even war. And I know it can be very uncomfortable to think about that, to think that our private lives, the things we do every day, and even our private body parts are part of that. But it is important to understand the world. And the personal is political is not only about understanding the world, it is actually also about changing it. And I really want to emphasize it, that the bottom line of all of this is that our choices, our everyday actions, are part of something larger. And it empowers us to share those experiences. For example, my experience, sitting on a bathroom floor with this information piece, looking at it. I can share this and I can see that I'm not alone with it. It empowers others to see that their issues are part of structures that act against us. And having said that, there's also going to be people that really, really, really want the personal to stay personal. Because there's an agenda behind it, and because, of course, there's beneficiaries. So I would ask you, I would encourage you to embrace this, to really dig deeper in your personal things and how they connect to the real world. Because the personal is political. It's not just an idea. It is a call to action. It is a call to action for you to really understand that your actions and your personal lives are powerful. And if it's only by calling your vulva by its name, vulva, we might start a revolution. Thank you.